Today we're going to cut through some of the noise around a really big topic,
Yeah.
technology in education.
It's everywhere now.
Exactly. So our mission here is to unpack how these digital tools are, well, fundamentally reshaping how we teach and how kids learn. It's a huge shift.
Definitely.
And it leaves us with a pretty big question, really, for you listening. Is this tech truly making education better for everyone? Or are we, maybe, leaving some students behind?
A crucial question.
We've gathered insights from quite a few sources, trying to get a comprehensive look at, the promise, but also the pitfalls, the hurdles of putting all this digital stuff into schools. So let's dive in.
Sounds good. It's a complex area for sure. We're talking about more than just gadgets, right? It's the core of how knowledge gets passed on. It's definitely worth a deep exploration.
Absolutely. So let's start with basics. People hear EdTech thrown around all the time. But when we talk about technology and education, what exactly are we covering? What does that mean?
Right. So EdTech, basically it's any kind of tool or digital platform that's designed to support learning or teaching. It's really broad.
Okay, so like software.
Laptops.
Yeah, those things, but much more. Think about those big online learning platforms, interactive whiteboards you see in classrooms, even pretty sophisticated AI tutors.
Yeah, AI tutors.
And even things like virtual reality simulations starting to pop up.
Yeah.
So it goes way beyond just the hardware.
So it's not just about giving a kid an iPad. Sounds like it's more about how that tech changes the whole learning dynamic.
Precisely. That's the key thing. It's how the technology gets integrated into the actual teaching methods, the pedagogy, how it shifts the roles, for both teachers and students.
Right.
And maybe the biggest promise is how it helps personalize education for each student. That integration part.
Yeah.
That's where the real impact happens, or where it's supposed to happen.
Okay, so let's talk about that impact. For students, how is this changing their day-to-day learning? Well, the benefits, they can be pretty significant. First off, students just have access to way more information than ever before. It's incredible, really.
You mean like Google searches? Or
And more structured things, too. Think about Khan Academy or all the educational stuff on YouTube. Even tools like ChatGPT now, they let students explore topics, learn things kind of at their own speed.
Right, self-paced learning.
Exactly. And another big thing is gamification.
Making learning like a game.
Sort of. It's using those ideas from games, points, immediate feedback, challenges to make learning tasks feel more engaging, less like a chore. Especially helpful for younger kids, keeping them motivated.
That does sound really empowering.
Yeah.
But you mentioned personalization earlier, and it makes me wonder, does this actually reach everyone? Are these benefits universal, or is there more to access than just having the tech?
That's a really critical point because while, many students do thrive with this stuff, others definitely struggle. Well, it's not always just about having a device or internet. Sometimes the tech itself is a huge distraction. Or maybe students don't have the guidance to sort through all the information online effectively.
Yeah.
And the digital divide, it's still very real. Our sources really emphasize that. It's not just about broadband access anymore either. It can be about the quality of the tech or the relevance of the tools, or even if students are actually taught how to use these tools critically. Digital literacy,
So tech can empower some.
But it can also isolate others or even widen existing gaps if we're not careful. Equity and digital literacy have to be front and center.
So it's about giving them the skills, not just the tools.
Exactly right. Without that focus on equity and teaching those critical skills, we absolutely risk leaving some students further behind.
Okay, so that's the student side. What about the educators? The teachers in the classroom. How are they adapting to all these constantly changing tools? It must be a lot.
It is a lot. But honestly, many teachers are rising to the challenge in pretty incredible ways. I mean, think about the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. That was sudden.
It was an incredible shift, almost overnight. Teachers had to learn Zoom, Google Classroom, all these platforms, basically on the fly. It showed amazing adaptability.
True.
And now we're seeing blended learning models become much more common, mixing face-to-face teaching with online components. Teachers are experimenting, trying flipped classrooms, new ways to deliver content.
It sounds exhausting, though. Keeping up with all the new tools, figuring out what works. What do teachers really need to make this work well?
Yeah, you've hit on a key challenge there. They absolutely need ongoing high-quality training. It's not a one-off thing.
Right.
They need consistent support. And maybe most importantly, they need time. Time to actually explore these tools, figure out what works for their students, their subject.
Time is always the issue in schools.
It really is. So robust professional development isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. And the whole point really should be that technology assists the teacher. It should enhance what they do, maybe free them up for more human connection, more individual support.
Not replace them.
Definitely not replace them. It's about augmenting their expertise.
That makes sense. Tech is a powerful assistant.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us back to personalized learning. You touched on it, but can we go a bit deeper? How exactly does tech, especially AI, make this customization happen?
Okay, yeah, this is where things get really interesting, particularly with AI and data analytics. Think of it like a super smart recommendation engine, but for learning.
Okay.
So these platforms can track student progress constantly, like in real time, every click, every answer, even how long they pause on something.
Wow, that's a lot of data.
It is. And the AI crunches all that data to build this dynamic picture of each student, their learning style, where they're strong, where they're struggling, and then it adapts the content based on that profile.
Yeah.
It figures out the next best thing for that specific student to learn or practice. So say a student is stuck on fractions.
Yeah.
The system could automatically give them more practice problems, maybe show them a different video explanation, or suggest a specific activity right when and where they need it.
That's pretty amazing. It really does sound almost like having a personal tutor for every single kid, constantly adjusting.
It kind of is, or at least that's the potential. And honestly, we're probably just scratching the surface here.
What are some examples of these advanced systems?
Well, adaptive learning systems are getting much more sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have things like immersive virtual reality labs. Imagine students dissecting a virtual frog or walking through ancient Rome.
Without leaving the classroom.
Exactly. It offers these custom-fit, hands-on experiences that just weren't really possible or scalable before.
Okay, so the potential is obviously huge. But with all this power, all this data, what are the downsides? What are the risks, the ethical challenges we need to be thinking about?
Yeah, absolutely crucial to talk about the risks. Data privacy is, well, it's massive. We have to make sure students' personal information is protected rigorously. That's paramount.
Definitely. What else?
Beyond privacy, there are other concerns, things like just too much screen time, the potential for actual tech addiction, and of course, the huge problem of misinformation online that students might run into. How do we equip them for that?
Right. So these tools are powerful, no doubt, but it sounds like using them effectively takes a lot of careful thought. Setting clear boundaries seems critical.
It absolutely does. It requires constant evaluation. The big challenge is finding the right balance, crafting policies that, encourage access to these potentially amazing tools.
But also keep kids safe.
Exactly. Promote access and ensure safety and well-being, especially for younger learners. It's about finding that sweet spot where the tech serves education without creating new problems or vulnerabilities.
This has been really insightful. Thank you for laying out both sides, the incredible power here, but also the very real responsibilities that come with it. For you, our listener, I hope this deep dive gives you a clearer, maybe more nuanced view of how technology is changing education.
It's been great discussing it. If I could leave one final thought, it would be stay open-minded, keep learning about this stuff, but also remember, technology, at the end of the day, it's a tool.
Just a tool.
Yeah. The real heart of learning, that spark of curiosity, the critical thinking, that still comes down to human connection, to guidance, to that relationship between teacher and student.
Beautifully put. Technology is a tool. The heart of learning is human connection. That's a powerful idea for all of us to think about as we continue our own learning journeys. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and stay curious.